You're sitting on the edge of your bed right now, and you're about to do something that scares you. Maybe it's a presentation at work, or a conversation you've been avoiding, or putting yourself out there in some way that matters. And the thought running through your head is probably the same one that's been running through all of our heads. I just need to feel more confident first. I just need to get to that place where I feel ready, where I feel certain, where the nervousness goes away. Then I'll do it. Then I'll be okay. But here's what I want to tell you, and I really mean this. That's not how confidence actually works. In fact, chasing confidence might be the thing that's holding you back the most. If you're ready to understand what actually moves you forward, hit subscribe so you don't miss the insights that change how you approach challenges. Confidence is not a prerequisite. It's not something you have to acquire before you take action. Think about every genuinely confident person you know, the ones who actually do things, who move forward despite their fears. They didn't start with confidence. They started with action. They started by doing the thing they were afraid to do, and the confidence came after. That's the order. It's not confidence first, then action. It's action first, then confidence grows from it. When you tell yourself you'll do something once you feel confident, you're essentially waiting for a feeling that doesn't exist yet to justify taking a step. You're asking your brain to feel certain about something it's never done before, which is literally impossible. Your brain has no data to base confidence on if you've never tried. Confidence isn't some magical emotional state that descends on you like luck. It's built on evidence. It's built on the proof that you've done hard things before. It's built on the track record of surviving difficult moments. I want you to think about learning to ride a bike. Did you feel confident before you got on the bike? No. You were terrified. Your parent was probably running alongside you, ready to catch you, and your whole body was tense with uncertainty. But you got on anyway, and you wobbled, and you fell, and then you got back on. And somewhere in that process, after the action, after the falling and the trying and the surviving, confidence showed up. You didn't need to feel confident to start. You just needed to start. This is true for everything. Public speaking, starting a business, having a difficult conversation, going to the gym, making art, asking for what you deserve. The people who do these things aren't more confident than you. They just started before they felt ready. They pressed send on the email while their hands were shaking. They walked into the room even though their heart was racing. They opened their mouth and spoke even though they were terrified. And the confidence came from doing it, not from waiting. So here's what I want you to do instead of chasing confidence. First, accept that you will never feel completely ready. You will never reach a point where all the doubt evaporates and you feel 100% certain and prepared. That feeling doesn't exist. The best version of yourself, the one who takes action and builds a life worth living, that person is always a little nervous. They just act anyway. They separate the feeling from the action. Second, start collecting evidence that you're more capable than you think. Every time you do something scared, you're adding data to your internal confidence bank. And this is important. You don't have to do something massive and dramatic. You can start small. You can send one email you've been avoiding. You can have one conversation you've been putting off. You can show up to one gym session even though you feel self-conscious. These small actions count. They build momentum. They prove to your brain that you can handle discomfort and still move forward. Third, reframe what failure actually means. When you're chasing confidence, you're chasing certainty, and certainty requires never failing. So the pressure is immense. But if you're chasing action instead of confidence, failure becomes information. It becomes part of the process. You try something, it doesn't work perfectly. You learn, you adjust, you try again. And every iteration makes you more capable and more resilient. That's how real confidence is built. There's a huge difference between waiting to feel confident and acting in spite of not feeling confident. One keeps you stuck, the other moves you forward. And the second one is always available to you right now. You don't have to wait for anything. You don't have to feel different than you do right now. You don't have to be more prepared or more certain or more experienced. You just have to decide that the discomfort of taking action is less painful than the regret of staying stuck. I know this sounds simple, and in a way it is. But simplicity and ease are different things. This is simple, but it's not easy, because it requires you to feel the fear and do it anyway. It requires you to sit with the nervousness and the doubt, and move forward with it still there. Most of us are waiting for that feeling to go away first, and so we wait, and nothing changes. If you found this helpful, please like this video. It means so much to me, and it helps other people find this message too. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you want to start creating content, putting your ideas out into the world. Maybe it's videos, or writing, or music, or whatever. You sit down to record or write or create, and immediately you feel this surge of doubt. What if it's not good enough? What if people judge me? What if I mess up? And so you close the laptop. You tell yourself you'll do it when you're better at it, when you have more experience, when you feel ready. But here's what's actually happening. You're waiting for confidence that can only come from creating. You're stuck in a loop where the thing you need to build confidence is the exact thing you're avoiding because you don't have confidence yet. The way out is to create anyway, to press record anyway, to hit publish anyway, to send it out even though it's not perfect, because the act of doing it, even imperfectly, breaks the loop. You get to see that the world doesn't end. People don't laugh at you or destroy you. You get feedback or you don't, but either way you've proven to yourself that you can do the thing. And the next time you do it, you're a little braver, a little less afraid, a little more confident, not because you feel different, but because you have evidence now. This applies to so many areas of your life, health and fitness. You don't have to wait until you feel like a gym person to go to the gym. You just go, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're the most uncomfortable version of yourself in that space. And after you show up consistently, somewhere along the way, you become a person who goes to the gym. The identity follows the action. Relationships. You don't have to feel completely confident and sure before you reach out to someone you care about or have a vulnerable conversation. You do it scared, and the relationship deepens because of your courage. Career. You don't have to feel fully qualified before you apply for the job or ask for the promotion or pitch your idea. You do it anyway, and you learn on the job. That's how everyone does it. One more thing I want to tell you, and this is crucial. The goal is not to never feel afraid. The goal is not to reach some magical place where you do hard things without any nervousness or doubt. The goal is to become someone who does hard things while feeling afraid. Someone who's comfortable with discomfort. Someone who can feel uncertain and move forward anyway. Because that's the actual superpower. That's what separates people who live the lives they want from people who stay stuck in the lives they've outgrown. Confident people aren't confident because they never feel fear. They're confident because they've felt fear so many times and survived it that the fear doesn't stop them anymore. They've built such a solid track record of doing hard things that their brain has evidence that they can handle it. You get that evidence by doing, not by waiting. You get that evidence by being willing to feel uncomfortable. You get that evidence by taking action before you feel ready, over and over and over again. So the next time you catch yourself waiting to feel more confident, I want you to pause. I want you to recognize what you're actually doing. You're waiting for a feeling that won't come until you've done the thing. You're waiting for permission from yourself that you already have. You're waiting for certainty that doesn't exist. And in the meantime, your life is staying the same. Your dreams aren't getting closer. Your goals aren't happening. Your potential isn't being realized. All because you're waiting for a feeling. Instead, I want you to do this. Pick one thing you've been putting off because you didn't feel ready. Just one. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be something small. And I want you to commit to doing it this week, regardless of how you feel about it. Not when you feel confident. Not when you're more prepared. This week, as you are, with all your doubt and nervousness still there. And then when you do it, I want you to notice how you feel afterward. I want you to acknowledge that you did the hard thing even though you were scared. Because that's the moment your confidence actually starts to grow. That's when your brain gets the evidence it needs. This is how real change happens. not through waiting and wishing, not through trying to engineer the perfect emotional state before you take action, but through action itself, through being willing to be uncomfortable, through deciding that growth matters more than staying safe, through understanding that confidence is a consequence of courageous action, not a prerequisite for it. I really believe in you, and I believe that if you're willing to do things scared, you're capable of so much more than you think. Thank you for watching. If this message landed with you, please subscribe to the channel. We talk about real ways to move forward and build lives that matter. And if you have thoughts on this, if you've experienced what I'm talking about, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. What's one thing you've been waiting to do until you felt more confident? I genuinely read these, and your stories matter.